Dearest gentle reader, how are you? On today's episode, we'll be talking about Humility Rules, written by Father Augustine Weta. It was published in 2017. Humility Rules by Father Augustine is a modern interpretation of St. Benedict's teachings on humility and self esteem, emphasizing the importance of relating to others and God. The book presents a 12-step guide to humility, addressing concepts such as fear of God, self-denial, obedience, and the significance of prayer. Weta aims to make Benedictine wisdom accessible and applicable to contemporary readers, promoting a deeper understanding of humility as a path to genuine self-discovery and spiritual growth. Now, what is humility? It's easy to say humility, humility, and you try to describe it and then words fail you. If I asked you what to describe humility, what would you describe it as? Say the modern psychological view, while you go find out the meaning of humility. In modern psychology, humility is not about having low self-esteem or thinking less of yourself. Instead, it is famously summarized as thinking of yourself less. Two different things. You're not thinking less of yourself. No, you're thinking of yourself less. A humble person acknowledges their limitations, is open to feedback, and focuses on the growth and value of the people around them rather than constantly seeking the spotlight. Does it sound familiar? Does it make sense? Now, Humility Rules brings the 1,500-year-old wisdom of St. Benedict into the modern world, showing how humility is also not about low self-worth, but about discovering genuine self-esteem rooted in truth and faith. What if humility isn't about thinking less of yourself? We already talked about that, but about seeing yourself clearly. In this book, Father Augustine argues that real confidence doesn't come from success, status, or praise. It comes from humility. Humility is not weakness, but a path to freedom, peace, and authentic self-esteem. The world tells us to build our identity on achievements, appearance, and recognition. St. Benedict says the opposite. The more we let go of pride, ego, and the need to prove ourselves, the freer we'll become. I've read this book a couple of times, but unfortunately, I'm no longer in possession of it because one of the actionable steps is that when you finish it, you pass it on to someone else. So I have passed it on to someone else. When I gave it to him, he was a seminarian, but now he's a priest and he has refused to pass it on because, according to him, he needs it to remind himself, especially because of his vocation. And I totally understand that. Humility isn't humiliation. It is living in the truth about who we are and who God has called us to be. We are loved by God. We are gifted but imperfect. We are capable of growth. You can substitute the we for I. The less obsessed I become with myself, the happier I become. The less obsessed we become with ourselves, the happier we become. The 12 steps. Now, this is my own summary. So if you want it, I got a copy of the book on Amazon. There's this morning offering I subscribe to. They send me prayers. For those of you who are friends with me and have my WhatsApp number, you see that I put up, it's either daily verses or quotes or something, So yes, it's this page I subscribe to. So it kept popping up over time, over and over again, and it's piqued my interest, and I got it on Amazon that year. I don't know where to get it in Nigeria, so in case you want it, you can get it off Amazon. Now, the 12 steps. The 12 steps, the first one is to put God first. Humility begins with recognizing that God is at the center, not Chichi, not Frank, not Maggie, not Femi, but God is at the center. Instead of constantly asking, what do I want? Ask, what is God's will? What does God want? So instead of every time, what does Chichi want? What does Ifeanyi want? What does Kenechukwu want? No. What does God want? What is God's will for me? Let go of self-will. First, children, please pay attention. Much of our stress comes from trying to control everything. Humility teaches surrender, not giving up, but trusting God's plan. Does it mean not giving your best? No, you give your best, but you also trust that in the end, however it turns out, is all for your good. What's that Bible verse that says, all things worketh for good for all those that love God? Listen to just authority. Number three, the third rule. We don't know everything. I don't know everything. You don't know everything. Growing in humility means learning from children, parents, mentors, priests, pastors, leaders, and those with wisdom. Has someone ever shared a piece of advice with you and you think flesh and blood did not reveal this to you? Number four, be patient through difficulties. In other words, perseverance. Trials become opportunities to grow stronger in faith and character only if we persevere. Practice honest self-reflection. There's something the Catholic Church teaches that we practice before bed. It's called examination of conscience. Before you go to bed, you reflect on how you spent the day. Did you do anything that to glorify God? Were there areas where you were selfless? Were there areas where you were selfish? And then you make an act of contrition before you go to bed. And then if you commit any mortal sins, you now go to confession. So this is what this fifth rule is telling us to do. We should practice honest self-reflection. Instead of hiding mistakes, admit them. Confession, whether to God or in trusted relationships, is liberating. Pride hides, humility heals. Be content with simplicity. You don't need luxury or constant admiration to be happy. Neither do you need likes and viral posts to be happy. True joy comes from gratitude, not possessions. I have a sister, Juliet. She's my friend, but we call each other sisters. She's always posting, every day on her WhatsApp status, you will always see grateful hearts, so it's a reminder for us to be grateful. So sometimes when I'm whining and complaining about my day or something, and then I just take my phone and I go to status, she always starts her morning with grateful heart. So let's learn to practice more gratitude, be content with simple things, with simplicity. Number 7, don't think you are better than others. Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. Humility removes the constant comparison that steals our peace. What's that popular saying? Comparison is a thief of joy. So do not think yourself better than others. Think of yourself less. Live with discipline. That you can do something does not mean that you should. Don't chase every impulse. Healthy routines, prayer, work, exercise, and rest, for example, build character. Freedom actually grows through discipline. Speak less. You mustn't jump on every conversation. You mustn't always speak. Sometimes you learn more by listening. There's out. Speak less. Especially in this age of social media, not every opinion should be shared. You mustn't have an opinion on everything. Sometimes you just read, scroll, and pass, move on, move along. Even in the office, you mustn't participate in every conversation. Or in places of business, you mustn't participate in every conversation. Listening often teaches more than speaking. Silence creates wisdom. Laugh with moderation. This isn't implying that laughter is bad. Rather, avoid using humor to mock others, seek attention, or escape reality. Restrain from gossiping. Joy should be genuine. Speak gently. Chichi left the chat room on this one. Speak gently. Have you met someone who must dominate every conversation? Usually, I tune them out while trying to be polite. A humble person doesn't dominate conversations or try to win every argument. They speak kindly and thoughtfully with quiet dignity. I know I don't always speak kindly, especially when I'm upset or when something is ticking me off. I just go off and say it. But I mean, we're all work in progress, so it's a reminder to be thoughtful, to be kind, to be considerate, and to treat everybody with quiet dignity. Number 12, the last but not the least. Let humility become natural. Practice makes perfect. Eventually, humility stops being something you force. It becomes who you are. Your actions flow naturally from love instead of ego. I mean, isn't pride exhausting? Humility allows you to stop pretending and you quit trying to protect your image. In this book, we talked about it earlier, things to do now that you're 40. Yes, the author also said something regarding to pride. Sometimes, laugh at yourself. Sometimes make a fool of yourself and learn from it. Everything is not about, do you know who I am? You huffing and puffing. No. Who should read this book? Now, Christians wanting to grow spiritually should. Anyone struggling with pride, insecurity, and comparison, leaders who want to lead with wisdom rather than ego, Catholics or people interested in practicing Benedictine spirituality. Finally, this book isn't about becoming invisible or putting yourself down. No. It's about becoming free from the constant need for approval. Attention, girl children. We were, don't do this. A girl child is polite. A girl child is this. A girl child. Sorry, I had to bring that in, but I couldn't resist it. A girl child should be. You get to an age where you're like, man, you know. So you're not. The book is not telling you to put yourself down or that your voice doesn't matter or that your opinions do not matter. No, it's saying you should be free from the constant need for approval. St. Benedict's wisdom reminds us that genuine self esteem isn't built by making ourselves look bigger. It is built by seeing ourselves truthfully and trusting that God's love is enough. You are enough because God loves you. That's all. It's not because you have a house. It's not because you have a fat bank account. It's not because you have looks that you could have an accident tomorrow and then, you might not recover from. No, you are enough because you are made in the image and likeness of God. That's it. As paradoxical as it sounds, the road to greatness begins with humility. I highly recommend this book, honestly. If this summary helped you understand humility rules, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And then let me know which of the rules challenged you the most in the comment section. Also, tell me what humility means in your language or what it is in your language. I don't know. In Igbo, what is humility called? I should ask my mom. I'll share it in the comment section when I get the answer. What is humility in your language? Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.